Tonight, the I-Team investigates handcuffed by the VA. An unusual arrest of an employee at the Hines Veterans Hospital, a suburban breast cancer survivor who says she was targeted by a hospital police officer after claiming that she blew the whistle on him for misusing taxpayer money. Investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy has been looking into her allegations tonight. Chuck.
Kathy, this is the story of Tarita Stennis, the Veterans Administration where she works, and her arrest. The U.S. Office of Special Counsel has directed the VA to investigate what they call a substantial likelihood of wrongdoing. And although they said it was not a final determination, the Special Counsel requesting the VA to look into allegations of an abuse of authority in which Stennis was hauled out of her office and put in not just one pair of handcuffs, but two.
I'm still in shock.
As part of her job at the Hines VA hospital, Tarita Stennis approves education expenses for employees who want to go back to school. Stennis says she discovered a reimbursement problem in a police officer's continuing education request. Instead of having a college class reimbursed properly, Stennis says the officer, William Armstrong, was advanced $900 without proving he paid for the course. And then she says he came to her office to get the paperwork changed.
And I'm like, well, I'm not going to be able to do that. And he was so angry that I wouldn't change it.
In the complaint she filed with the U.S. Office of Special Counsel, Stennis says Armstrong hit the door and stormed away. It was then, according to her complaint, that an old dispute about unpaid parking tickets heated up. Emails before and after the reimbursement issue show Officer Armstrong attempting to serve Stennis with a summons to appear in a federal court about old parking tickets on VA property. After she didn't go to court, the federal court issued a warrant for her arrest. In November, Armstrong showed up at her office again to serve that warrant.
He says, I'm taking you to federal prison, so like take off your belt, your shoestrings, this and that. And I'm like, what for? He says, for those tickets.
Stennis says he walked her out of her office, through the hallway, and to a Hines police car.
He takes the handcuffs and he's supposed to like interlock them, I guess, to give me more of a room, but he didn't. He put a set here and then he put a set like here. So it was two sets of cuffs. So now it's super tight, and because I had a mastectomy, my implant slid forward because I had my hands like this.
On the ride downtown, she says she told Armstrong and a female officer that she couldn't breathe.
And you just turn the radio up, just blasted it. So now I'm like, I'm hoping I'm not gonna like die. The only thing I kept thinking, like, there's no way that I'm going to beat breast cancer and then just like die in the back of the police car.
When they arrived at the federal courthouse, the U.S. Marshals called an ambulance that rushed her to Northwestern, where doctors diagnosed her with a chest wall injury. ABC 7 legal analyst Gil Sofer was a federal prosecutor in Chicago.
If you've got a non-violent person who is being hauled in for parking tickets, you should see a minimum level of force or no force being applied.
Mr. Armstrong, my name's Chuck Gowdy. I'm with ABC 7 News. Officer William Armstrong didn't return our calls for comment and didn't have much to say when we offered him an opportunity. We're doing a story on the Stennis matter. I'd like to talk to you about it.
You guys would have to direct that to the VA.
Well, it involves complaints against you, as you know.
I'm on the phone right now, so you guys would have to direct any questions you have with the VA, okay?
VA officials tell the I-Team that Hines VA Officer Armstrong, now a sergeant, didn't do anything wrong, and that the officers acted appropriately when arresting Stennis for what they call illegal behavior, including parking in a handicap space, and claim that she has 15 parking violations since 2012. Stennis says that's untrue. VA officials also tell the I-Team her claim about whistleblowing triggering this whole incident is completely unfounded, with no basis in fact whatsoever. As for the two separate sets of handcuffs Stennis says she was put in, VA officials claim they were actually connected to give Stennis a greater range of motion.
I just don't want him to be able to do it to anybody else.
After the incident, Stennis and her lawyer worked out a plan to pay the parking tickets. The investigation was supposed to wrap up in 60 days. They just extended it last week. We will keep an eye on this one.
All right, Chuck, we'll be waiting for that. Thanks.